and then some of the information and resources that we have, and then also, as Dr. Whalen said, about our clients. I think they tell our story best, and that's where we try to have the most impact. So talk a little bit about some of the clients we serve and some of the services that we've provided them. The Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center, we operate with a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration and the University of Arkansas at Little Rock College of Business. Our organization has been around as helping Arkansas businesses since 1979. We operate through a network of offices all throughout the state. As Dr. Whalen mentioned here earlier, that here at UALR we operate the lead center for the state, but we also have 6 other offices located on university campuses throughout the state. SBDCs or ASBTDCs are a national program, so there are 68 programs throughout the country and the U.S. territories. But one of the things that's unique and I think makes our program so special and work so well is that we're associated with the College of Business here at UALR, and then also at our regional offices, we're associated with the colleges of businesses on those campuses. That allows us to build synergies and leverage the resources that are there. One of the things that we always try to do is work to create an environment where small businesses in the state have access to the resources there at the college. We do that through participating in student projects. That is where we work with one of the professors in the academic unit to work on a project for one of our small business clients. That may be a marketing plan, financial analysis, MIS project, anything of that nature. And it's a good partnership, and everyone gets a good result. The small business gets access to knowledge and expertise that they ordinarily wouldn't have access to or may not be able to afford, and the students get a real life experience, a resume building experience that they can learn from. And one of my favorite things each semester is that they all find out that it's not all tied up and neatly in a bow, and and everything. And business is often messy, and it's not always black and white. So I think it's a good experience, and certainly our clients enjoy the experience and being able to give back to the students. Here's kind of a map of our offices. We have an office at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, Arkansas State University, Arkansas Tech University in Russellville, UAM in Monticello, Henderson State University in Arkadelphia, and Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia. So we cover every corner of the state and provide services there. Some of the things that we do, we provide consulting services. That is, we work one-on-one with a small business owner or potential small business owner to provide services to them. We also provide training services through workshops, seminars, and webinars. Those are on all kinds of different topics, from financial management, marketing, business planning, and some of the social media platforms that you all had mentioned earlier. I'll talk a good bit today about the market research and GIS services that we provide, because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. And also the technology and innovation services that we provide to technology entrepreneurs, and then also university researchers here in the state. One of our favorite things to talk about is the impact that we have on not only on individual business owners, but also on the economy in the state. Over the last decade, ASBTDC clients have created 10,000 jobs. So in a time such as this, when we hear a lot about job creation and unemployment, small businesses in Arkansas are doing their part. So it's just the subset there, 10,000 jobs. That's I always say, you know, we hear about Toyota plants and that type of thing, and those are important. And there's always a major economic announcement that they'll have, and I always say we should have a major economic announcement, because in tandem together, all of our clients have created a substantial number of jobs in the state. Also, we've assisted our clients with obtaining over $1.5 billion in capital in the state. And additionally, that's just debt financing. So additionally, our clients have made equity investments that mirror that. So the impact that small businesses have in the state in aggregate is substantial. Some of the things that we work with our clients on in terms of our consulting services may be things like business planning, marketing planning, and perhaps financial statement analysis. We also, as our impact numbers suggest, work with business owners a good bit in the debt financing arena, assisting them with preparing loan proposals and getting the information they need together to access capital and generally demonstrate that they have the ability to repay a debt. Also, you'll see we do some work with online marketing, website optimization, and social media. One of the services that we provide through our consulting area is market research. And we added this probably about 5 years ago, really stepped up our efforts in market research, and found that in Arkansas, for a small business, oftentimes they lack the expertise and resources to be able to internally generate information and data about their market, and then also did not have the internal expertise to turn that data into information that they can use to make a decision. So that's where we focused our efforts, and have had some success, some good successes with that. We focus a lot on, with existing businesses, looking at expansion and growing their business, looking at market potential for their business, site selections, and with new businesses, looking at market trends, opportunities that are unmet in a given area. One of the things that we do is use Esri, that's a proprietary database, and their tapestry segmentation module. Tapestry segmentation for a given area, it's psychodemographic information. So not only do we look at demographics in terms of age, household income, some household makeup and things of that nature, but we also use psychodemographic information to help our clients learn more about their customers, the people in their area, and how they can reach them and what they value, so they can craft a unique message for them. So with this, we can help them identify who their unique market segments are in terms of demographics and also psychodemographically, to learn who their best customers are, where they can find more like them, and how they can reach them, and how they can find more folks like them. We do that through a couple of different tools that we have. For instance, some consumer spending information. So what we do, here we'll go back to this map. You can see a red line around here. And what we'll do is identify a particular trade area for a client. And that can be anything from a geography, like a zip code, or a county, or a municipality to look at. But what we do more frequently is we'll look at a custom geographic area around it. Oftentimes you'll see that done with a radius, like a 1 mile ring or a 5 mile ring or something of that nature. And that's good in some situations. you know, but as you know about Arkansas geography and infrastructure, you know, 1 mile or 3 miles or 5 miles, it can be all over the place, right? So you might be in a very remote location that in reality takes 20 minutes or so to get to, or you might be really, really close. I always think about this. My grandfather, he kind of had a saying, I've heard it a few other places, as, you know, how far is something? Well, as the crow flies. You know, it may be 1 mile or something like that. So those radius are kind of, you know, as the crow flies. But most of our clients, they don't sell to crows. So it really kind of doesn't help them out. So what we do is help them define their trade area with drive times. Okay, so most of their customers, you know, drive cars, and so we'll help them identify an area around their location or potential location in terms of drive time. Okay, we use traffic algorithms to come up with a polyagonal map that you can see outlined there on the map. And you know, when we do that, it's kind of they learn who the people in their neighborhood are, okay, and what they like, what they do, what they value, the types of media that they listen to, the types of activities that they engage in, and then also where they spend their money. Okay, so for all kinds of consumer products and services, we have consumer spending data in a custom geography. Okay, I pulled a small subset here, some medical care data that you can see, non-prescription vitamins, services, hearing aids. And it's really, you know, anything from these types of things, how much someone spent on a can of olives in the last 6 months. So it's super kind of specific things. But it's useful, you know. Lots of times a marketing or site location decision is made with the only information that's available, which might be something like how much is the rent, okay, or a traffic count or something like that. And those are all important factors. But in our opinion, you know, in order to avoid wasting of capital or someone's resources, we want them to have as much information as possible about their investment. So we have kind of 3 different categories: average household spending, how that benchmarked compared, how does that compare against the national average, and then the total aggregate, so they can assess the market and the consumer spending in that area. Also, we work with market potential data. So still in the custom geographies, looking at behaviors for individuals and consumers in that area. You know, we also often work on a project like, and the reason I pulled up some of these are some named franchise, restaurant franchises. So we often work on a project, you know, someone is expanding or starting a restaurant franchise, and as most of you are aware, you know, they'll be able to choose from several different trade areas. So what we have the ability to do is take those 2 different trade areas and you know, look at consumer behavior in that area. So no longer is that business owner having to, you know, make a guess about, well, you know, there's this type of restaurant around here or something like that. But in terms of some of these named franchises, it's the answers to the test. You know, we have, you know, for instance, Subway. Well, this is how many people eat at Subway, you know. So based upon your projections and debt service and the financials that you have, is this market large enough? So again, we're not having to rely on some esoteric things like drive times or businesses that are in the area, but it's really kind of the answers to the test. This is how many people in that area participate in that activity. Again, I'm sorry? Is that broken down by location? It is, yeah. This is using these custom geographies, so it can be anything. You know, we can... so you can pick an area. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So oftentimes with a named franchise, they'll offer you a trade area, okay? So it can be something like that, or a potential site with a 5-minute drive time, or In some of the more rural communities, it might be something like a geography, like a zip code or a county or a municipality. I pulled, again, a subset here of the data just for demonstration, but again, it's really kind of all over the place. You know, ate at Subway in the past 6 months, watched Judge Judy, okay? Flew a kite. I mean, you know, it's kind of all over the stuff, all over the place. But the nice thing about it is it's broad and diverse enough that it has lots of applications. So we can use it to make inferences about consumer behavior and how that might affect our business. One thing I pulled, and I know it's we kind of have a small screen here, but some of the psychodemographic information that we talked about and how we might use it. This is just one of the segments for the tapestry segmentation that Esri has. This is a segment called Midland Crowd, which happens to be the most concentrated here in the state. And you'll see here that it does have some demographic information about household income, household size, education level, and that type of thing that we can use to make some inferences about our customers and the people who are in our area. But they also publish preferences for each of them. And this is kind of where the real gems are, in my opinion. Midland Crowd, these are politically conservative folks who live in a rural location, and they take care of their own lawns and vehicles. They're do-it-yourselfers. They own a truck. Many of them have a motorcycle, as you might guess. Hunting, fishing, and woodworking are favorite pursuits. They have pets, and they shop at Belk. When eating out, they choose a fast food restaurant and use a drive-through window. Many households have a satellite dish. Their favorite stations include CMT, Outdoor Life Network. They watch rodeo and bull riding, truck and tractor pulling, and fishing programs on television. They watch a wide variety of news programs, and they listen to country music on the radio and read fishing and hunting magazines, okay? So we've kind of learned what color underwear they wear, you know? I mean, so this is kind of highly personal information about them that we can use not only to see what they buy, okay, but how they buy it and what they value, okay, what they value and how they make their decisions about purchases, okay? So what we do is you know, we generate this information and then we sit down with our client and help them turn this information into something useful that they can use to make a decision about their business, okay? So this is the type of conversation that we have with someone. So let's say they're opening a restaurant, okay? Well, what have we learned about this group? What's important? Drive-through, right? Okay? So some of our clients think, oh yeah, definitely, we need to have a drive-through. But what else?
They can accommodate motorcycles and trucks.
Yes, yes. So you... And in Arkansas, I mean, this is the type of conversation that we have. So what does that mean about your drive-through? Well, it has to be tall enough for a truck, you know, like one of the big jacked up ones, right? And it has to be wide enough for a dually. You know, I mean, seriously, that's the type of thing, you know, that we have to consider.
And low enough for a motorcycle.
Right. And what else about that drive-through? You have to be good at it, right? Having a drive-through window on the side of the business doesn't put you in the drive-through business, right? If we come and sit down in a restaurant and the server comes and takes our order and it's, you know, 10 minutes to get our food, what's our reaction? Speedy service, right? Okay, that's the lunchtime thing where they come put the stopwatch on your table. So that's speedy service. If we pull up to that same restaurant to the drive-through and it takes 10 minutes, right? Yeah, it's not speedy, right? We're going on Facebook and making bad comments about them. We're giving them negative reviews on Urban Spoon and Yelp. So for this market segment, having the drive-through isn't enough. Physically, what does that drive-through need to do? And then also operationally, for our business, what does that mean about drive-through? We have to be really good at it, okay? You can't come and wait 10 minutes, because we all know drive-through is about seconds, not minutes, okay? So when we message to these people, and we're selling our product and service and marketing or our advertising pieces, it needs to be about value, right? Because these are conservative folks. They watch their pennies. They're do-it-yourselfers. They're not impulse. They don't purchase on impulse and things like that. So, on the face of it, we say, oh wow, well I guess if we did some advertising, we could do it on the country music radio station, or maybe some cable advertising on CMT or Outdoor Life Network. And yes, right there on the face, those are some things that we can learn about them and use that to make a decision about that customer and how to attract them. But underneath the surface, there's a lot more that we learn about them. Okay, and not only the marketing arm of our business, but also operationally when we're talking about drive-throughs and that type of thing, and then price points, the type of products and services that we offer, and how we deliver those. Okay, so these people are likely to be highly personal. When you sell a product, maybe they don't buy it online. Maybe they want to come in and touch it, see it work, have someone there to tell me about the product, features, benefits, and things like that. So again, there are 65 different segments that the population is divided into. This one, the tractor pull, that's us right here. So we'll work with clients to not only give them access to that information, but help them and work with them to implement those changes into their business and turn that information into an ability to make a decision about their business. Some of the other things that we do or provide innovation-based assistance. As Dr. Whalen mentioned, one of my duties is to oversee the technology transfer efforts that we have here in our offices. And that's one of the really, another exciting thing for me to talk about, because there are very meaningful applications for that. So most of us think of a university in terms of education, that type of thing, and that's a very important mission for a university. It's kind of a core strength and that it must have. But several of the universities here in the state also have a research mission or a research focus, and so what that does is takes the knowledge and expertise that's there in the university and to generate research kind of for the public good, okay? So at UALR, the University of Arkansas, at Fayetteville, ASU, and UAMS here in Little Rock, we work with researchers and technology transfer offices there to commercialize that research, okay? So in essence, what we do is work with the researcher and the university to take that really good idea or really good discovery and make it into something that's useful, okay, and that the general public can consume, all right? Taking it out of the lab and putting it on the store and the shelf. And we do that. We work with UALR Technology Transfer Office a good bit on some energy products and also some nanotechnology products. At the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, we work a good bit with them on medical devices and also some testing and a few drugs. And what we do is work with those researchers to get them access to capital, number one, to further their research, and then also help them develop a strategy and the university develop a strategy to commercialize that research. So I always use this example because, 10 years ago before I started working at the ASBTDC, I would have been like, what? Okay. So has anyone heard of Gatorade? All right. Gatorade is a technology, university technology transfer, okay? Gatorade, Florida, okay? So that was developed at a university, okay? They used it with their football team, gave them a competitive advantage, and that type of thing. And so the university owned that, okay? And for a while it was licensed out, and every bottle of Gatorade that was sold, the university and the taxpayers there in Florida got a return on that investment in addition to the access to the great product that Gatorade is. Another example, warfarin, has anyone ever heard of that? It's a blood thinner, okay? That was developed in Wisconsin, okay? WARF, W-A-R-F, is the Wisconsin Area Research Foundation, Alumni Research Foundation, excuse me. So that is a life-saving product, okay? That helps thin blood for people who have restricted circulatory systems and issues like that. So increase their chances of success, and then also extended their life in some instances. So life-saving product that came out of the university, went through the commercialization pipeline, and now all the people have the benefit of that. Well, I'm excited to tell you that we have that same type of research and commercialization activity going on right here in Arkansas. I'll give an example. Dr. Laura James, she's the head of pediatrics over at Arkansas Children's Hospital, which has a cooperative agreement with the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences here in Little Rock. And she developed a test for acetaminophen toxicity, okay? So if you think ASBTDC is hard to say, try to spit that out, right? Okay, acetaminophen toxicity, all right? So acetaminophen is what we commonly know as Tylenol, right? And through her position at Arkansas Children's Hospital, she noticed that there were a lot of young people presenting with acetaminophen toxicity. Okay, they've overdosed or attempted to overdose on acetaminophen or Tylenol. Okay, often it was young pre-teen women. Okay, so why do they do this? Because this is what they have access to. This is what's in their medicine cabinet at home that they have, access to, and they'll, overdose on this Tylenol, and then they present to Arkansas Children's Hospital. Well, the issue is, when someone, a young person has undertaken this type of activity, when they come over here to Arkansas Children's Hospital, they're not real forthcoming about what's happened, so it's kind of a cat and mouse guess, where are you, and that type of thing. The current state of the art to detect for acetaminophen toxicity has a very long window. It's a test, and it takes 2 to 3 days, and all that time, that acetaminophen is there poisoning them, causing them liver damage and things like that. So Dr. Laura James, saw this problem and worked with some folks and has developed a test that takes that 2 to 3 day window down to minutes. Okay, so they're able to test and within minutes have the acetaminophen level in these young or really anyone's body, and then can take immediate action to counteract the activity or the ill effects associated with that acetaminophen overdose. So she had this idea. We worked with her, got nearly $2 million, over $2 million now, in additional funding to move this technology along the commercialization continuum. As you might imagine, highly regulated with the FDA and things like that, meet those hurdles, and are moving it along from an idea to something to actually save lives. Right here, 10 minutes away at Arkansas Children's Hospital. So, we don't have Gatorade, we have acetaminophen toxicity. And I'll take that over Gatorade any day. So, but we work with researchers all over the state on similarly exciting technologies and making it a reality so that in some cases we make life better, and sometimes in some cases they actually save lives. Another thing that we do is work with our clients to identify and be able to capitalize on exporting opportunities. Most small businesses in the state, with very few exceptions, have a singular focus on meeting a domestic need. but especially with products and with some services, there's you know, an untapped need outside of the United States. For small businesses in Arkansas, one of the biggest exports is tourism. Okay, so we don't normally, or I would have never thought, you know,